हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
अमोल प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे कृष्ण। Okay, we will start now. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्कायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपास्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So today we are discussing from Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17. Name of the chapter is Punishment and Reward of Kali. Last chapter we stopped where Parikshit Maharaj, in order to, because he saw some anomalies or some, like, people are becoming greedy, they are developing cheating propensity, they are lying. Um, Seeing that, Maharaj Parikshit, he understood. Seeing that, Maharaj Parikshit, he understood that something is going wrong in the kingdom. And Maharaj Parikshit, he took his army, he started going everywhere, and um, all the miscreants, all the kings who were opposing, he fought, he won, everywhere he was going. And finally, he came to Kurukshetra. And in Kurukshetra, Parikshit Maharaj, I mean, just before he arrived, there was a conversation between bull and a cow. Bull was standing on one leg, who was personification of Dharma, interacting with the cow. Cow was in tears, distress, lamenting. And there is a lot of conversation. Bull is asking what is the cause, and bull gives various reasons why the cause may be, why the cow may be suffering. At the end, cow gives the reason of her own suffering as because Krishna has left. and that's why she is suffering. And cow was personification of Mother Earth. Now, as this conversation just ended, at that time Maharaj Parikshit arrived at the scene in Kurukshetra. And Maharaj Parikshit saw that there was a low class man uh, who was actually a Shudra, um, and he was dressed like a king. He had a club in his hand, and he was beating a cow and a bull. The cow was crying, lamenting, um, and the bull was standing on one leg, and this his dark complexion, wearing suit like a king, posing like a ruler, and is beating the fourth leg of the cow mercilessly. That time Maharaj Parikshit um, arrived. There is a description of the bull. The bull was as white as a lotus. The reason she is compared to white is because white is compared to dharma, and she was as white as lotus, personified dharma, the bull. And when the bull was being beaten up in the last leg remaining, the bull was trembling and bull was in fear. Mm. And the reason it is said trembling and fear because dharma is in a very precarious situation. Dharma, because nobody in Kali Yuga, almost nobody follows Dharma. And that's why the position of Dharma in Kali Yuga is very shaky. And Dharma himself is afraid. So the bull representing Dharma was shaking, trembling, and fearful. Then the cow is described as it is described that although the cow is beneficial to everyone, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, in the Vedic culture, every house has bulls, every house. And wherever the cows are there, those families will be dharmic. And Prabhupada gives an example of Sukadev Goswami. He would go to different houses and he would stay in a house as long as it takes to milk a cow, which is few minutes. And then he would take little bit of milk as his meal, and he would only drink little bit of milk every day. And that's how even the great saints and sages they also survive on cow milk. Prabhupada also says in the previous like few hundred years back, or maybe just during Prabhupada time and before, if any saint goes to anybody's house asking for milk, nobody will say no. Milk was in abundance, because every home will have cows. So wherever the cow protection is there, wherever cow is there, um, and also she is in mode of goodness. Anybody who comes in contact with a cow or serves the cow also come to mode of goodness. And mode, if somebody comes to mode of goodness, then dharma will flourish. Passion and ignorance, they increase irreligiousness, and Kali is there to just enhance the passion ignorance. So cow is beneficial for everyone. Um, Even all the things that comes from the cow, whether it is cow urine or cow dung, everything that comes from the cow. Cow is the only one animal whose everything is beneficial. So cow is beneficial for everyone. Also, cow is required to maintain, um, perform sacrifices, because without ghee, how can one anybody performs any yagya or perform one religious principle. So cow is benefit. Happiness is when you can eat food cooked in ghee. Chanakya Pandit says that means you are happy. So although cow is beneficial for everyone, when Kali was there, the cow became calfless, um, and the cow became poor, The cow is crying with tears in her eyes. The cow has become weak and the cow is distressed. And this is Prabhupada said, these are the symptoms of Kali Yuga, that the cow becomes calfless. Mm. As soon as the calf is born, the calf is separated from the mother cow, and mother cow is in tears. And then all the milk is used for um, commercial purposes. Mhm. And then the mother cow is slaughtered. And then the calf is artificially fed. This is the stage of this is, and cows are never taken care of. Mm. They are treated very mercilessly. They are treated. So cow has treated very poorly and have become calfless, and she has tears in her eyes. Another reason she has tears in her eyes because she is representation of Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is seeing who all will rule and what all will happen on her surface, on her body after Krishna has departed. And seeing that she is lamenting, she is distressed, she has tears in her eyes, and she has become very weak because now in Kali Yuga, um, first she becomes weak when dharma is not established. Mother Earth becomes weak when it is ruled by, and she becomes weak and she withdraws. She does not give produce, fruits and flowers and vegetation. She does not give. So this is the state of the cows and Mother Earth and bull in Kali Yuga, and that's why this Kali Purusha, he is beating both of them. The bull on one leg and he's beating the cow, and they are in very much distressed condition. And when Maharaj Parikshit came and saw Maharaj Parikshit, at once became very angry. Maharaj Parikshit was seated on a golden chariot. While on a golden chariot, he was carrying his bow and arrow, and he told Kali Purusha, "Who are you?" in a very angry voice, as if shouting. And he said, "How dare you kill the helpless beings who are under my protection? And you are by although by profession you are a Shudra, you are dressed like a king." And this is what will happen in as Kali Yuga will progress. The the Shudras um, who are influenced by mode of ignorance, generally speaking, they will become the rulers, and um, the Brahmanas will also act like a Shudra. So, although you act like a Shudra, although you are a Shudra, you are acting like a king, you are acting like a ruler, wearing just by wearing a kingly robe. How dare you, just because Krishna and Arjuna have left the planet, how dare you touch the helpless citizen under who are under my protection? You deserve to be killed. Now get ready for your death. And then Maharaj Parikshit first uh, like punishing Kali Purusha. First, Maharaj Parikshit turns to the cow and bull, and first he turns towards the bull and he asks the bull, "You are as white as lotus. Um, who are you actually? Mm, Why are you? Uh, how have you lost your three legs? Um, how are you standing on one leg? What is your real identity? Are you a demigod who has come from heavenly planets, and that's how you are able to stand on one leg? And have you come to give us grief? Who are you? Um, I am the king of the Kuru dynasty. Kuru dynasty is there is Yudhishthir, then there is Parikshit, and before that, the whole dynasty is very powerful. And there was Maharaj Shantanu. Um, there is Bhishma Dev. This is all Kuru dynasty. Are generally Kuru dynasty is Kuru is one of the ancestral kings, and his all the kings coming in his dynasty, they're called Kuru dynasty. And Maharaj Parikshit said, "I come from a Kuru dynasty," means the most powerful one. Although Duryodhan took over Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra by force for some time, but Krishna made arrangement that the Kuru dynasty is maintained. The fame of Kuru dynasty is maintained. Very powerful. So um, Maharaj Parikshit says, till now, I don't see tears in the eyes of anybody. Nobody under my protection, nobody on the earth has any grief. Then how is it that when the earth is still under the protection of Kuru dynasty, you have tears in your eyes? And that also shows how powerful was the rule of Maharaj Parikshit and the whole Kuru dynasty. When Maharaj Yudhishthira was there, when Maharaj Parikshit was there, when Maharaj Shantanu was there, they were such powerful kings. Everybody was well protected, everybody was nourished, everybody was given whatever riches and wealth they required. There was no grief. And even when after Krishna's departure, Maharaj Yudhishthir, when he saw people becoming little bit greedy, he became very much concerned. It was such so perfectly the kingdom was being ruled that time. So Maharaj Parikshit said, I am coming from a Kuru dynasty, and under the protection of Kuru dynasty on the entire earth planet, nobody has grief except for your tears. Then he told Mother Cow that do not cry, cry no more. Now I am here. Um, as long as I'm alive, there will be all good fortune upon you. And do not fear the Shudra. He is going to be killed by my hand today, and I will give you full protection. It is the prime duty of a king to give protection to those who are suffering. And especially, and I am the heritage of, I have inherited Arjuna's heritage. Mm, I'll give you protection. And then Maharaj Parikshit says that if the citizens are terrified, then the king loses the fame, the lifespan, the fortune, and good rebirth. In other words, I will make sure nobody is terrified under my rule. Otherwise, if anybody is distressed, then the fault is the fault of the king. We see that um, in Bhagavatam at many places. And how the king could offer such protection to the citizen is because of their devotion to the Lord. We see for the upliftment of the society, Maharaj Yudhishthira performed 3 Ashwamedh Yagyas, which is an elaborate arrangement, and it's a sacrifice that the king performed just to make the citizens happy. We see even Maharaj Parikshit, in order for the benefit of um, everybody, he also performed 4 Ashwamedh Yagya, Maharaj Parikshit. And same is with even before Maharaj Ambarish, when they were there, Maharaj Ambarish, then Maharaj Prithu, King Prithu, he also performed 99 Ashwamedh Yagya, and he was doing the 100th one. And they are doing so much yagya to please the Supreme Lord, so that everybody in their protection is happy. We see Bhagavatam also, this principle is there that when the root of the tree is nourished, everything around is watered. Or when the root is nourished, the trees, the twigs, the leaves, everything is nourished. And likewise, the kings, if if Krishna is satisfied by their rule, then every citizen will also be satisfied. And they would always try to worship and satisfy and please Krishna. And rest is they will do their duty and everything was taken care. And that's why Maharaj Parikshit was very much concerned that in my rule, who is coming from a Kuru dynasty, that who has inherited the heritage of Arjuna, how can you have this condition of tears and lamentation and distress? And then the king also says that when the citizens are terrified, the king loses his fame and lifespan and fortune. And this is what is today's day and age. People who take over the rulership, becoming president. I mean, our president is, by Krishna's mercy, very good. But generally speaking, when most of the kings, they're like, they're not devotees of Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna, or they're not pure devotees, and they're not doing any, they're not watering the roots by worshipping the Lord or doing sacrifice to the Lord. But all they are trying to do is make a radical decision which is harmful for everybody and trying to maintain their post, trying to maintain their position, um, do all this campaigning so they can increase their term of stay, and it's all self-centric. So for such, their fame will be lost over a period of time. Their lifespan will be reduced because they are not doing their duty properly, um, and their next birth will not be good. We see an example of also Prabhupada says, the Prime Minister of India, that time Prabhupada says, he became a dog in Switzerland. So their next birth will not be good. And the king is telling that when the helpless citizens are not taken care, then the next rebirth and fame, fortune, everything of the king will be lost. So then Maharaj Parikshit, he turns to the bull and he asks bull, who has cut off your three legs? When the king is worshipping Lord Krishna, how can this thing happen? Basically, when Maharaj Parikshit is worshipping Lord Krishna, such a thing has never happened. Who has cut off your three legs? Oh, bull, Maharaj Parikshit says, you are honest. You, there is no fault of yours. You are faultless. In spite of that, who has disfigured you? And by disfiguring you, who dare um, um, blemish the fame of Pandavas? Because if any citizen is in trouble, the bad name goes to the king. There is a story also where during Krishna's and Arjuna's time, it comes in Shrimad Bhagavatam, um, where a Brahmana, the moment the son of Brahmana was born, the son would die. And it happened few times, and Brahmana became very angry. 8 or 9 times it happened. Brahmana became very angry. Then Brahmana went to Maharaj Ugrasen, and he told Maharaj Ugrasen that because of you, all the sons are dying untimely because you are not properly ruling the kingdom. So this is understood, and this is in Shastra. This is what Maharaj Parikshit is saying also. Um, that time it was the will of the Lord actually, and that's how Arjuna offered protection to the sun. The sun still died. Then Krishna took Arjuna to the planet of Vaikuntha because Vishnu wanted to see Krishna, and then they brought the sons back. Vishnu was taking the sun because he wanted to meet Krishna. That's why. But no offense on the part of Ugrasen. Ugrasen was a great king. Mm, mm, mm. So this won't happen when the king is properly worshipping Krishna. Such thing like somebody beating or cutting the leg of the, and now nobody is taking care. That's why the cows are slaughtered, the bulls are slaughtered, and it's legal. So what is going to happen? So this has never happened. When the king is a devotee of Krishna, this thing has never happened before. So who is responsible to cut off your three legs? Whoever has given you pain, now beware because I am there to punish them. Even if a demigod has done this to you, I will uproot and destroy the demigod also. It is the supreme duty of the king to protect those who follow Vedic principles and to punish those who go against Vedic scriptures. And because you are offenseless, you are honest, and this thing has happened to you. How dare? How can this happen when the king is a devotee of Lord Krishna? Whoever has done that, whether he is a demigod, will be uprooted by me today. So King Parikshit is asking bull. He is telling the cow and a bull, fear no more. especially this low degraded Shudra. I can kill him like this. Don't fear him. Tell me, O bull, who has cut off your three legs? So Bull said, O king, your words are very comforting. Your words makes one fearless. As long as your question is concerned about has who is responsible for cutting off my three legs, I can say that um, there is no certain answer to that. I mean, if this is Dharma speaking. So try to see what Dharma says. Um, Try to understand what Dharma is saying. Dharma is Shastra, or Yamaraj is also Dharma personified. So that Dharma is speaking, um, and Dharma is saying, although this man is beating him, and Dharma is saying, it is very difficult to ascertain who is the cause of my suffering. Because there are different views of the scriptures and different views of the saints and sages and philosophers. Therefore, it is very difficult to ascertain for certainty who is the cause of my suffering. Some say the suffering comes because of one's own karma. Some says that suffering comes because of the arrangement of the demigods. Some say the suffering one suffers because of one's own nature. Some says the suffering is because of one's own mind. So different section of scriptures and different philosophers, they say different things for the cause of suffering. So it is very difficult to ascertain what is the actual cause of my suffering. You are very intelligent, okay, so you can judge for yourself what is the cause of suffering. Um, and Bull, this is the answer Bull gave. Wolf said these are different reasons. The Shastra and philosophers have gave different opinions. These are various opinions. Okay, you are very intelligent, so you can judge for, and you are very dharmic, so you can judge for yourself at what is the cause of my suffering. And when Maharaj Parikshit heard this response from the bull, Maharaj Parikshit was very pleased. And Maharaj Parikshit said, I am amazed by your answer. This is a conversation between Dharma and Maharaj Parikshit, where Kali Purusha is listening, Mother Cow is listening. Maharaj. Now, another important thing is the bull does not say that this Kali Purusha is the cause of my suffering. That was not any reason, or others are cause of my suffering. Either my own mind or my own karma or my swabhav or devatas. Now these are the possible causes, and you figure out for yourself what is the cause of my suffering. So Maharaj Parikshit was very pleased. He says, um, "You must be Dharma personified, O bull. Um, you must be Dharma personified." And there is a verse I will um, let me open this verse. One second, I share the screen. Try to understand this verse. This one verse we can read today now, and then I will finish the rest of the story. Okay, number 22. Rajovacha dharmam bravishi dharmagya dharmosi visha rupadrik yat adharma kritasthanam sucha karsyapi tadbhavet. The king said, O you who are in a form of a bull, you know the truth of religion, and you are speaking according to the principle that the destination intended for the perpetrator of irreligious acts is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. You are no other than the personality of religion. So after hearing the response, he says either karma or mind or one's own swabhav or devas. There are various opinions about what is the cause of my suffering. You are very intelligent. You can use your own intelligence to ascertain what is the cause of my suffering. And this is the response. The king, Parikshit Maharaj, tells the bull, "O you who are in the form of a bull." So can somebody think of what it means? Can somebody give a comment on this? The king is very pleased, and king gave this response. So there is a lot of meaning in this. This is um, um, by this statement, Maharaj Parikshit could understand that this bull is a great personality. He is not only great personality, he you are none other than personality of religion. You are not a bull, you are not a devata. By your response, this because of this, what you have said, I can understand that you are the personality of Dharma. Otherwise, nobody else can give such an answer. You are speaking, and what the bull is speaking is this, that the destination intended for the perpetrator of a religious act is also intended for one who identifies a perpetrator. So one who does wrong thing. So can somebody think of the meaning of this in the audience? Anybody would like to say anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam Jai Sri Prabhupada.
Then
So
what?
does it mean that he understood that some uh, some harmful things are coming up? So it is the starting, but it is not just because of one person. It is because of some intention of God, which is destined to happen. Something like that.
It is connected to that. How to understand that the destination intended for the sinful man of a religious act is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator.
So one who is aware of some bad thing is happening, but that person is not taking any action. So that's the reason it will spread.
Okay, thank you. Let's see if there are more opinions on this. If somebody else would like to add or say anything. The destination intended for the perpetrator of a religious act is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator, who identifies the perpetrator, who identifies the sinner. Or the destination intended for the sinner is also intended for one who identifies the sinner. Any opinion on this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, is he trying to intend to Parikshit Maharaj that it is also I mean the destination I mean here the problem is coming and it's not only me but it is destined to be problematic for all the people.
All the sentence. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Which is also true. And we will see there are more opinions on this. Thank you, Mataji, for adding. Whatever you and Harshi Mataji said, both have a point, and both are also true. And I'm looking for one more thing. Destination intended for the sinner of the irreligious act is also intended for one who identifies the sinner. Anybody else?
Prabhuji, maybe because the bull saw the Kali entering this place,
The bull saw Kali entering this place, so
and that's why it was punished by Kali.
means the punishment is given by Kali.
Yeah.
Hmm. But if you see Prabhuji, Parikshit Maharaj asked the bull, "What is the cause of your suffering?" And the bull is telling, "Well, the scripture says there are multiple causes. It can be one's own karma, one's own mind, one's own nature, from demigods. So you figure out." So then Parikshit Maharaj says this statement. He says, "You are speaking according to the principle that," so he's repeating Dharma's word, and he said, "This is what you are speaking. You must be personality of religion. Otherwise, how can you speak such words? These words cannot come from anybody other than personified Dharma." In other words, one who follows this statement is following Dharma. And only Dharma, personality of Dharma can speak such a statement, according to Maharaj Parikshit. Or one who lives by this principle, he is a true um, follower of Dharma. So for that, we are trying to go deeper and understand. So what is Maharaj Parikshit trying to say?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. That
Samyama.
means we should not see faults in anyone's, but in Kali Yuga that's a default.
Very good. We should not see fault in anyone. You are there. You are there. We should not see fault in anyone. What happens if somebody sees fault in somebody?
That person also will get that impressions, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Like
Thank you.
satsanga.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you. You all spoke very nicely. You are speaking according to the principle that the destination intended for the sinner, one who sinned, his destination is also intended for one who identifies the sinner. If somebody asks, "What is the cause of your suffering?" He is the cause of my suffering. One who identifies, he is the cause of my suffering, he is also destined for the same result. He will also get the same suffering as the one who actually sinned. Again, destination intended for the sinner of irreligious act is also intended for one who identifies the sinner. So basically, Maharaj Parikshit is saying that you are not telling the Kali Purusha is the cause of your suffering. So you are speaking according to the principle that never identify somebody as the cause of your suffering, because scripture never says others are cause of the suffering, but it's always either my mind or my or demigods, or these are the cause of the suffering. They are just like how Prabhupada used to say, don't blame the instrument of your karma. And because you are following this principle, I can understand that you are a personality of religion. Mahavishnu Goswami, one of the disciple of Shivram Maharaj, sannyas disciple of Shivram Maharaj, he left the body around 15 years back. So Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj used to say that um, don't blame anyone. Um, or don't curse, or don't blame anything or anyone, and know that Shri Krishna is the remote cause of everything. Whatever is happening, um, there can be somebody can be a direct cause, but Shri Krishna is the remote cause, the cause of all causes. Everything is happening because that is sanctioned by the Lord. And a devotee, he tries to see the hand of the Lord in everything that is happening. So then he does not blame anyone, he does not blame anything or any situation, any circumstances, any unfavorable results, or he does not, because he sees Krishna has a plan, Krishna has a plan, Krishna has a plan. And one who sees that higher cause and does not identify the sinner, that will maintain dharma. Okay. So is it clear, devotees in the call? Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, the word identify, I took it differently. Actually,
Ah,
identify means some kind of witnessing. I got it that way.
okay, thank you. So we'll see and the purport. It is very nice verse actually. Especially this is one of the most important verses, and this is one of the verse that is difficult to understand also. When I read it first time, I did not understand anything. Then when I read it second time, I mean, when I was doing my first reading of Bhagavatam, I remember maybe 7 8 years back. Then when I came to this chapter, I read this section of Bull and Parikshit Maharaj, the conversation, and like, I don't know what they are speaking, and just continued. Then uh, I heard some lectures on this, then I understood what it actually means. So Prabhupada purport is very nice. Prabhupada says a devotee's conclusion is that no one is directly responsible for being a benefactor or chief mischief monger without the sanction of the Lord. In other words, nobody can be our well-wisher, nobody can be our troublemaker. Nobody is directly responsible for being a benefactor or mischief monger without the sanction of the Lord. Guru and Krishna has sanctioned. And that's how a devotee sees Krishna in both the situation. And we see Srila Prabhupada, even when he was getting a lot of help from devotees to spread Krishna consciousness movement, Prabhupada said, all of you are sent by my Guru Maharaj to help me fulfill his instruction, that the instruction that my Guru Maharaj has given to me. He has given me instruction and he has sent all of you to fulfill the instruction given to him. So the benefactor and the chief monger, they see the cause as the Lord. And that's why Dharma here, although in a very distressed condition, Dharma is not blaming Kali. And we understand Kali cannot be blamed actually, because it is the will of Krishna that Kali Yuga should come. Krishna has designed this whole system that there is Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. And Kali Yuga, the Dharma will be lost. And this is what is happening. So everything is happening according to plan of the Lord. And Bull is the personality of Dharma. So he understands this is the plan of the Lord. Although the plan of the Lord involves suffering, it's still the plan of the um, Therefore, he does not consider any to be directly responsible for such action, um, or he sees Krishna as the remote cause in both benefactor or troublemaker. But in both the cases, he takes it for granted that either benefit or loss is God sent, and thus it is His grace. Whether benefit or loss, it is God's grace. In case of benefit, no one will deny that it is God sent, but in case of loss or reverses, one becomes doubtful about how Lord could be so unkind to his devotees as to put him in great difficulty. People say, I'm worshipping Krishna, how can Krishna do this to me? Anything good happens, a better um, position or anything. Krishna is very kind. But very difficult to say Krishna is very kind when there is trouble, when there are reverses. But one who can see that, he is practicing dharma. Jesus Christ was seemingly put into such great difficulty, being crucified by the ignorant, but he was never angry at the mischief mongers. Jesus Christ, he had 11 followers, 11 or 12 followers. He told his followers, he didn't say what is going to happen, but he told his followers, I must go through it. I must go through it. The followers said, what you must go through? Then Christ said, I must go through it. I must go through it. This is the will of my Father. I must obey the will of my Father. I cannot deny the will of my Father. I must go through it. Because Jesus Christ knew what suffering is coming upon him tomorrow morning. And I mean, crucifixion is not an easy thing to take. He was actually thoroughly beaten up. He was already before he was crucified. His skin was kind of beaten up with hunters and many things. And then he was nailed in front of everybody. And it was a terrible suffering that he had to go through. And he's telling his disciples, I must go through it. It is the will of my Father. I cannot deny the will of my Father. And this is the mood here we see of Dharma, bull, the cow. They know that this is the will of the Lord. So although Maharaj Parikshit is telling, even if whoever is the cause of your suffering, even if it's a demigod, I'll uproot the demigod also. So Dharma says, your words are very pacifying. It removes fear, but the cause of suffering, you only figure out what the cause of suffering. In other words, Parikshit Maharaj also understand the cause of suffering is nobody, it is the will of the Lord. So Jesus Christ could see the future. He told his um, he had 12 followers. One of the followers was Peter. He told him that before the next day morning, you will deny me 3 times. And he says, you are my Lord. How can I deny you? And Jesus smiled. And later on, 3 times, Jesus was taken away by force because one of the apostles he cheated Jesus. So they came and they bound him by ropes and they took him. So one of them, they said, "You seem to be a follower of Christ, of Jesus." He said, "No, I am not the follower of Jesus." And then later on, so there was and it was a news that anybody who is a follower of Jesus, bring him to us, the government, their government. They were very cruel people. Bring him to us, and we will give him the same punishment as Jesus. So then he went to a campfire. It was very cold night. Jesus Christ was being beaten up, um, and he was हाथ सेक रहे थे अपना, getting some bombed. And one of them, he said, "Oh, aren't you a follower of Jesus?" He said, "No, I am not the follower of Jesus," out of fear. And then another time, when he was going inside the gate, the gatekeeper asked, "Aren't you a follower of Jesus?" He said, "No, I am not the follower of Jesus." And immediately the rooster said, "Kukuruku," in the morning. And then he lamented that I denied. He told me before the next day, a rooster sound, I will deny him 3 times. And he was true. So Jesus knew. And then he said, this is the will of my Father. I a son must obey the will of the Father. I must go through it. I must go through it. So Prabhupada said Jesus Christ was seemingly put into such great difficulty, being crucified by the ignorant, but he was never angry at the mischief mongers. He was not. Actually, these are the Jews who crucified him. So he never found fault in those Jews. He just said, "This is the will of the Lord." So this is a person who actually who follows dharma, he will not find fault in the instrument, good or bad, both ways. That is a way of accepting a thing, either favorable or unfavorable. Thus for a devotee, the identifier is equally a sinner, um, like the chief monger. So this is where Prabhupada explains. Thus for a devotee, the identifier is equally a sinner. One who sinned is sinned. One who says this person is a sinner, he's equally a sinner. One who identifies the sinner, thus for a devotee, the identifier is equally a sinner, like a chief monger. By God's grace, or in other words, the devotee, as you said, the devotee does not find fault in anyone. By God's grace, the devotee tolerates all reverses. Maharaj Parikshit observed this, and therefore he could understand that the bull was no other than the personality of religion himself. In other words, a devotee has no suffering at all, because so-called suffering is also God's grace for a devotee who sees God in everything. Whatever happens, he sees God. The cow and a bull never placed any complaint before the king for being tortured by the personality of Kali, although everyone lodges such complaints before the state authorities. So neither the bull nor the cow, they did not give any reason for their suffering. Arjuna did not give any reason for their suffering. When bull asked cow why you are suffering, Krishna has gone away. When Parishit Maharaj asked bull what is the cause of your suffering, is tell us, even the demigod. He says it cannot be ascertained what is the cause of my suffering. There are different views by different people. Actually, he does not say, but actually the remote cause is Krishna. So the cow and bull never placed any complaint before the king for being tortured by the personality of Kali. The extraordinary behavior of the bull made the king conclude that the bull was certainly the personality of religion, for no one else could understand the finer intricacies of the course of religion. And from this, the king could conclude from the answer of bull, he cannot be a bull. I mean, bull is great. They represent dharma, but he is not just one who represents dharma. He is dharma. He is the personality of dharma. Otherwise, such words. And there is this. Okay, I'll stop sharing the screen now. And this is another. Um, um, and, and this is also very nice that Maharaj Parikshit can speak to cow and bull. This is also very nice. I was thinking, wow. Okay, so after this, the king was very pleased. Then the king understood that yes, the cause of all causes is Krishna. So king says to bull that nobody can understand the plan of Krishna. Same thing Bhishma Dev said actually. When Pandavas terribly suffered, um, see, this is very interesting. After terrible suffering, Yudhishthir Maharaj does not find any fault in Maharaj in Dhritarashtra. Arjuna did not find fault in Duryodhana. Arjuna says if they want something, let them have. Yudhishthir Maharaj has no enmity toward Dhritarashtra for all the atrocities he has caused upon him. That's why we see when Dhritarashtra was gone, Yudhishthir was crying. If he would actually found fault in Dhritarashtra, he would have envy in his heart towards Dhritarashtra. If he would have found fault in Dhritarashtra, then he could not have loved or shown the affection. That's why Dhritarashtra could stay there, because still he was getting the love and affection from Pandavas. And he had enmity Dhritarashtra that these five brothers they have killed my sons. He was finding fault in them. But Yudhishthira Maharaj does not find fault in Dhritarashtra. This Shastra and this conclusion are very, I mean, they're very difficult to follow, but they are very clear on what they are speaking. Uh, um, and Bhishma Dev, when Yudhishthira Maharaj said, I am the cause of everyone's suffering. After after the whole Mahabharata, he said, I am the cause. It does not say Duryodhana, does not say Dhritarashtra, does not say Kauravas. He says, I am the cause of everybody's suffering. And then when he went to Bhishma Dev, he asked Bhishma Dev, what is the cause of my suffering? Bhishma Dev says the same thing. He says, the plan of the Lord, it is the will of the Lord. It is the inevitable time that works under the will of the Lord. And the plan of the Lord cannot be understood. And Bhishma Dev also is seeing the hand of Krishna. We see anywhere in Shastra, like when pure devotees who follow, who knows Dharma, when they speak, they are saying, and they don't blame Krishna. They're not saying why Krishna did that. They said it's the will of the Lord, um, and nobody can understand it. And Parikshit Maharaj says the same thing. He says, Lord's will is inconceivable. By word jugglery, by mental speculation, nobody can understand. So nobody can understand why this is happening to me, what is the cause behind it. Nobody can understand. No matter how much we use our mind, our intelligence, no matter how much we try to find the reason behind what is happening to us. Um, um, a devotee thinks like Parikshit Maharaj, nobody can ascertain. Lord's energies are inconceivable. What Krishna does is inconceivable. Nobody can understand. By mental speculation, word jugglery. And then Parikshit Maharaj says, yes, in Satya Yoga you had, because he understood your dharma, your personality of dharma, Maharaj Parikshit. Bull did not say. From Bull's answer, Maharaj Parikshit figured out. So Maharaj Parikshit said, yes, in Satya Yoga you had four legs. There are four legs of dharma. They are called tapa, um, tapa, saucham, daya, satyam. Tapa is austerity. Saucham is cleanliness, Daya is mercy, and Satyam is truthfulness. And then Maharaj Pariksit says, well, in this Kali Yoga, three legs are broken. So he is now Pariksit Maharaj is addressing the cause is this is Krishna's will. And it says um, tapa, austerity is broken by pride, because if somebody perform austerity and they become proud, then the result of austerity is also gone. Austerity is broken by pride. People are proud. Then um, um, Saucham, cleanliness, is broken by lust for women, illicit sex, lust for women. Cleanliness is broken. And then austerity, no, mercy is broken by intoxication and meat eating. Mercy is broken. And only truthfulness remains. And the truthfulness, and people are, and Kali Yuga is, as Kali is progressing, people are lying also. That leg is also being beaten up. It is said in Kali Yuga, those who follow Dharma, they truthfulness will remain, but that fourth leg is also breaking. And when the cow is standing on one leg, and when that leg is being beaten up, then naturally the whole body of bull is shaking. So dharma is in a very precarious situation, shaking about to disappear. That is the state of dharma in this age of Kali. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's followers and any of the four sampradayas followers, they are trying to uphold dharma in the society. That's why this is called the golden age for next 9,500 years, when the dharma will be again established. All the four legs will come in Kali Yuga, and then all the four will be broken. Then it will be a very bad time. um, and then Parikshit Maharaj says, and so the quarrelsome Kali. I'll take 5 more minutes, almost at the end of this chapter. This quarrelsome Kali is trying to destroy the fourth leg also. Um, um, and quarrelsome Kali is a cause. Kali is destroying truthfulness. Kali is just weakening other three broken legs, further weakening it. And Parikshit Maharaj says this Kali is flourishing by deceit. This is also very nice. Kali is flourishing by deceit. Deceit means um, duplicity, kind of. They have one behavior outside, another behavior inside. And this duplicity which is within our hearts, this duplicitous behavior, duplicitous action, or double standard, sometimes it is called different words. That is how Kali is infiltrating within us. When we are not always acting on how we should, when we are not always following the principles that we should, that are mentioned in the scriptures, when we do anything which is not supported by dharma, which is not a right thing to do, that's how, by through those acts, Kali is flourishing. And those who are devotees, they are also infiltrated by Kali, and others are only doing the acts that should not be done. And through the deceit, this propensity of duplicity in people, um, they're cheating themselves. Um, and that's how Kali is further flourishing. And as Kali flourish, and even the last leg of dharma is getting broken. and, and people will become more and more sinful. Mm, Then Maharaj Parikshit said that previously, when Krishna was there, all the four principles of Dharma came back. When Krishna was there, austerity came back, no illicit relationship, no pride, no. And when Maharaj Yudhishthira was ruling, he was witnessing. When Krishna was there, people became like, it's like, just like when Lord Ram came, we call it Ram Rajya. When Krishna came, there is no specific name to it, but Dharma was fully established. And it was because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, lotus feet, was touching the surface of the dust of Mother Earth. And he was walking on the surface of the earth. Dharma was established everywhere. The moment Krishna left, again the three principles are just very shortly, again all the three are gone. During Maharaj Yudhishthira time only it was gone, and now Maharaj Parikshit time it has further degraded, and the fourth one is also shaky. It is like gone. Um, and that's why Mother Earth is now lamenting. What is the cause of the suffering of Mother Earth? Mother Earth is now lamenting to see that Krishna has gone. And now Krishna has gone, and see what has come upon. And Mother Earth is fearful, trembling to see what the future will be. This is what is happening now when Maharaj Parikshit is there. He is going to leave, and the rulers will also be the agents of Kali. When your enemy, when the leader are also your enemy, and you are like left out, Kali is beating mother cow and bull. And when Abhi, the protection is being offered by Maharaj Parikshit, later on, the king will also be agents of Kali. So nobody is going to protect them. Nobody is going to protect Mother Earth. Nobody is going to protect Dharma. And seeing that, she is distressed, she is lamenting. But she also sees, Mother Cow also sees, this is the will of the Lord. I must, uh, I must tolerate. And because this is the will of the Lord. And that's why Mother Earth is feeling helpless and she is lamenting. Um, then Maharaj Parikshit, in the last section, Maharaj Parikshit, he wants to punish Kali. Maharaj Parikshit, like determined, here, this is the will of the Lord, but he is the cause. And I want him, I will kill him now. And if I kill him, at least whatever has happened. Kali has already infiltrated this will of the Lord. But I want to stop here. Maharaj Parikshit, like fearless king. So he took up the sword and he was about to kill Kali Purusha, and pacify, give solace to Dharma and Mother Earth. And as with great vigor he was about to kill, Kali understood that Maharaj Parikshit is very powerful. I cannot fight with him. I can keep the whole world under my pocket. I can destroy Dharma and the entire Earth planet. But I cannot kill. He's too powerful. He's a pure devotee of the Lord. He can destroy me. So Kali was very intelligent and he surrendered. And he said, please give me protection. I am also one of the helpless creature under you. And hearing that, Maharaj, this was the trick of Kali. And Maharaj Parikshit smiled. He smiled. Um, because it is the dharma of the king. Just like Lord Ram says, if even if Ravana comes and surrenders, I will accept. So this is the dharma of a king, of the supreme Lord also. Anybody who takes shelter, Lord immediately gives protection. And the king also, anybody who takes shelter of a devotee of the Lord, the devotee of the Lord immediately gives protection because the devotee is very compassionate. The devotee is very merciful. So Maharaj Parikshit, he said, all right. He smiled and he said, all right, I will give you protection, but you cannot stay here, because if you stay here, then there will be greed. People will quarrel among each other. People will cheat each other. People will rob each other. People are becoming uncivilized. Like you see in today's day and age, everybody, India or America, people are becoming uncivilized. What they eat, how they dress, how they talk, everybody is uncivilized now. So if you remain here, greed, people will just fight over something, kill each other for some material benefit, they will start lying, they will cheat, they will become proud, and in the end they will be lazy, and in the end they'll become unfortunate. So you cannot stay here. I will give you protection, but you do not deserve to stay in my kingdom, because in my kingdom dharma is followed, and wherever dharma is followed, you cannot stay there. You are the personality of irreligion. You cannot stay where I stay. So um, Kali said, but I am also under protection. Give me some place to stay. So Maharaj Pariksit said, all right, you can stay where adharma is already there, where there was no adharma actually. But he says you can stay where adharma, where people follow adharma. You can affect them. But where people follow dharma, you have no right to stay there. So Maharaj Pariksit says you can stay where there is gambling, where there is prostitution, where there is intoxication, and where animals are killed, where there is meat eating. But there was no such things that time during the time of Maharaj Pariksit. So Kali said that there are no such people who do this at this point of time. Then Maharaj Pariksit says you can stay where there is gold or wealth. And Maharaj Pariksit says because gold or wealth give rise to enmity. When people are attached to wealth, then they will become envious of those who are in a better situation. So wealth will give rise to enmity. Wealth will give rise to lust. Lust also comes with wealth. There is a desire to the lust increases, and desire for wealth itself is a lust also. If it is not used properly, then it will also bring intoxication. Um, like they became intoxicated. The sons of Kuver, Nalakuvera, Manigriva, they were intoxicated with pride because they were sons of Kuver, and they did not even respect. That's a kind. They were physically intoxicated, but they were intoxicated by their own position also. They were intoxicated. So wherever there is wealth, it will give rise to people will start lying for wealth. There will be enmity, there will be lust, there will be intoxication. All these things will happen wherever there is gold. So because there are already those who are hankering or those who are developing those qualities, the symptoms of gold, those who are going in that direction, you can enter them also. So wherever there is attachment to gold and attachment to prostitution or um, um, meat eating, gambling, intoxication, wherever these things are there, Kali will flourish in those places. So, um, yeah. And then after saying this, Maharaj Parikshit, he that time there was no place for Kali. Actually, Kali influenced the death of Maharaj Parikshit. And then Kali took over the whole kingdom. There was no king, no bona fide king after Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit was the last one. And because there was no place given to Kali, again Maharaj Yudhishthir established the four legs of Dharma. He re-established. During his rule, whatever time was remaining, people again became pious. And there was no such four legs were again cleanliness and austerity and truthfulness, cleanliness, austerity, truthfulness, mercy. That was again re-established. So okay, and um, the Mother Earth situation was improved. The cow recovered, the bull recovered, and Kali left. So in this way, Maharaj Parikshit overcame Kali, and people were again able to worship the Lord. Everything was again nice, just like when it was during Krishna's time. Again nice, just for a short time. And then we have two more chapters remaining. Then Maharaj Parikshit will die. Again, it will come back. Okay, so that's all we have. If there is any discussion, any question, we can take now. Anybody wants to ask anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dharma Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
One question. Krishna said, uh, I mean, wherever there is dharma lost, he will take position there, right?
He will come again and again wherever there is decline of dharma. Yes, Prabhuji.
But nowadays it is dharma is declined, right, Prabhu?
Yeah, but that's why there is. It's not like instantaneous, Prabhu. It's it's like dharma is lost, and then okay, now first of all, right now, dharma is re-established by Harinam Sankirtan. There's the yagya. Yagya Sankirtana Prahyujanti Sumedhasa. So because Harinam is a yagya, it is said people in this age of Kali will also flourish when this yagya is going on of Harinam Sankirtan yagya. 10,000 years, that's why it's called the golden age. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Prithvityati yati nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar hoibe mora naam. Krishna consciousness will arise, dharma will arise, and that's why we see even in India there are many places where in holy places meat eating is banned. Many, and slaughtering is banned. So there are things on improvement, and it will increase. I mean, imagine, Prabhu, Prithvi means not only India. Prithvi means all over the earth. Nagar Adi Gram. Nagar is city and Gram is village. Not only just major city. Every small cities also. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu message will go. Sarvatra Prachar Hoibe Morana. That will happen. And it is already when Prabhupada was there was 108 temples. And now there are over 700 ISKCON centers. It has this 50 years, it has already gone from 100 to 700. And it is keep on increasing. The devotees are keep on increasing. That time there was 10,000. Now it's 100,000. And it's increasing more. And many devotees are working. And we keep on growing. 9,500 years more, it will come to a state that everywhere dharma will be established. That's why now we may not see it day to day, but it is happening. But after this 10,000 years from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then it will be a very dark time. It will continue for 400,000 years. And then to again establish dharma, in between nothing will be there, just a dark age, iron age. Then Krishna will again come as Kalki to establish dharma. So when Krishna comes, says, I come again and again, it's not necessarily today dharma is broken, so after 20 years he will come. That difference may be 400,000 years also. But then he comes, and then he comes. So that's what he means, he comes again and again. Is that all right, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. One more small question, Prabhu. So, people who are not delivered in previous yugas, uh, they come to Kali Yuga, and from Kali Yuga also we go to next Satya Yuga, if not delivered.
Well, um, Prabhuji, if not delivered, it is said at the end of Kali, it will be a massive population. Kalki will kill everybody except a few who are perfectly following the four principles of Dharma. Means it will be a massive destruction of Dharma. Still, ikka dukka, some people will be there. Only they will remain, and their progeny, and all good people will come from there. And gradually, again, that will be a seed. And from there, the situation will improve. And that will be the beginning of Satya Yuga. Others, they will go either to animal kingdom or to hell. Massive people will go there because of their activities. Some will become the seed to start Satya Yuga. Does it answer, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. So it's not that anybody who remains will enter Satya Yoga. We will be given the reaction. But for us, practicing devotees, we want to go back. We want to serve as much as we can, maybe 9,000 years we can serve. Uh, but before Gaur Kali comes, definitely we don't want to stay here.
Yes, Prabhuji, one more question, Prabhu. That principle you mentioned in that verse, right, Prabhu? Who identifies also is equally intended for that punishment or whatever it is. So if king has such qualities, how he will be able to punish anyone, Prabhu? Like Yudhishthira.
Or Parikshit Maharaj.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhu, how I am seeing this as is like what the principle of Shastra says. Any suffering comes upon us, we must tolerate it. And uh, we must curse ourselves in a way that it is my own past, it is Krishna's will on me. Um, it is my own past, but it is sanctioned by Krishna. And anything that comes to me, although it may be my karma, it is beneficial for me. That's why Krishna is sanctioning. Or any good is coming, that is beneficial for me because Krishna is sanctioning. So remote cause Krishna is there. But then when we see some other devotees going through some suffering, then it is said that one must become angry. One should become angry when devotees are troubled. When Krishna is blasphemed, devotees are blasphemed. We see many examples of Hanuman or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to kill Jagai and Madhai when Nityananda Prabhu was attacked. Mahaprabhu gave punishment to when Srivas Thakur was defamed, Gopal Chapala. Then Mahaprabhu gave him leprosy, and he didn't want the leprosy to be cured because he gave trouble to his devotees. So this principle is also there when it comes to ourselves. When bull is answering, then the principle is for us Krishna, my own past, sanctioned by Krishna, not somebody else. And that's why Maharaj Parikshit, we see here, he understands this is the will of the Lord. But because Kali Purusha is giving trouble to them, he punished Kali. That's why the name of the chapter is Punishment of Kali. Is that
Yes,
all, Prabhu?
yes, Prabhu. Thanks.
Thank you. Anything else anyone has?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Dandavat
Jai
Pranam
Shri-
to Hare Krishna.
yeah. For that, Prabhuji, like sometimes, like if we act and then like we'll, I mean, like I'm talking about myself, Prabhuji, like judge ourselves that like even if we act like rude or wrong thing, then like it's because of influence of Krishna that we
Yeah,
are acting. If we are judging like that, like it's bad, right, Prabhuji? So like, how can we um, be like whenever it's needed taking and whenever not needed taking? Like, say example, like for maybe suppose if I want to go to temple, if I'm lazy, not going to temple, that's the main cause. But if Krishna willing, I can go to temple or I can go to for Mangal Harati. But Krishna is not chancing. Something like that. Like if we like those are the things, not exactly, but like still like keeping that point in that place and then keep bringing laziness or like some other parts of stuff probably. So
I understood your point of being rude when we act on, like sometime we react and we don't remember this principle all the time. Work is in progress. We are in the same boat. When we understand that I am not following dharma yet, work is in progress. Uh, I should not have done that. I consider somebody as the cause of my distress, and then I give them the mercy by becoming rude on them. So that is clear. So it's a work in progress. We are working in that direction, and we understand. I am not yet situated in Sattvagun, and I have these elements of lower modes, and that comes out once in a while here and there. So I'm working on it. And that itself is pleasing to Krishna, that we can try at max. And when we are not there, it takes gradual time to get to where we want to be. But when it comes to I'm not able to practice my devotional service, that Prabhupada says uh, this is a path of Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti means sometime we like to do something, sometime we don't like to do something. And that is because the mind is not trained. And Prabhupada says the mind has to be trained. Mind is not trained, mind is not uh, um, yet like cannot remember Krishna, our current state, and give many thoughts. And this is again the effect of the lower modes, and that's why we are pushing ourselves, we are forcing ourselves to become Krishna conscious by one of the 64 angas that we are discussing, trying to chant, trying to go to temple. But then if there is some obstacle, um, for not being able to go to temple, if it is up to me and I'm not going, then I have to work on myself, and that's the path of Vedi Bhakti. But if there's some obstacle created, then we try to see, adjust with the situation, time, place, circumstances. But then Krishna will accept your offering from your home also, when you are ready and you have a desire and you worship in whichever situation you are sanctioned to. Krishna is pleased with that. Did I answer, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, but not identifying exactly that, like lacking the desire.
Yeah, Mataji, desire
Somewhat
is,
like, yeah.
yeah, we do lack the desire. I agree. And that's why Vaidi means we follow bhakti based on rules and regulations. We don't follow bhakti based on our desires. We know that this is favorable, so I must do it. This is not favorable, I must not do it. And then we pray to Krishna, Krishna, please give me strength. Please engage me in such a way that I can keep you in the center, because very difficult. And when we desire that Krishna, please keep me engaged from morning till night, um, we have a long way to go, Mataji. Neither our senses are controlled, nor our tongue is controlled, nor our mind is controlled. Nothing, we don't have any good qualities. Um, but then we pray to Krishna, Krishna, please, we want to serve you, we want to serve, we want to serve you. Um, and yeah, Krishna is very kind. But we want to push ourselves, Mataji. We want to push ourselves. We have to push ourselves. Because if you're not pushing ourselves towards Krishna, we will be we will, we will be dragged down. It's natural. Like one example is given of a bird. For a bird to stay in the air, the bird has to continuously flap the wings. If bird stop flapping the wing, the bird will come down gradually. So likewise, if we are not working or pushing ourselves, we cannot keep rising. We are going against the gravity of this whole world is like three modes. Everything is like pulling us towards the three modes, and we are trying to go against the gravity. And that requires us to be vigilantly engaged in Krishna's service. Uh, and it begins with Krishna makes arrangement when we have sincere desire. Then Krishna sanctions those desire and we are engaged. Is it all right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare
Anything?
Krishna Prabhuji. I have two questions.
Yes,
Uh,
Mata.
One is like in case of kids, if not a punishment, but if we don't correct them um, every like timely, so it won't be like the correct parenting, right? So in case of
Yeah.
parenting, kids needs to be corrected. So how we can take that one? And
Yeah.
second question is like
Let me answer
in
first
some,
question.
yeah,
You know? So um, it's mixed. There is a proper use of anger where the anger is not arising. There is no element of where one actually does not become angry, but one uses strictness, a show of anger to to train the children, which is very nice. But when it is mixed with I am hurt, or um, there is a personal angle, then it's a mix of training, and it's a mix of I may be using, or that may be a place where I am kind of acting inappropriately to a certain level, mixed with a desire for training. So there one can be a little bit more discriminatory. But to train them for the right purpose without taking a personal hurt, that is needed. Is that all right?
Yes, Prabhuji, because sometimes I feel that like if like in case when kids are grown up, then in that case, like sometimes I feel when we try to correct them, and if they don't like it, or if they are not happy with that behavior, then we must be getting some reaction. That's what I am nowadays feeling.
Oh, like that. Well, Mataji, that's a good point. Um, Mataji, I'll come to you. I see your hand raised. Well, that's a good point. Chanakya Pandit, Prabhupada quoted Chanakya Pandit. He said, after 12, he said, 12 or 15, something like that. Chanakya Pandit said, make them your friend. Now think about it. If you have a friend, and if a friend does a mistake, how will you deal? And if your child, who is like a friend to you, like you said, they are grown up, then we should deal with them like a friend. And we should correct them, or we should train them. He says, till 5, after 5, till 5, show them love, because they don't know anything, and whatever they are doing, they are ignorant. Then from them till teenager, or whatever, 14 or 15 years, correct them, train them. And after that, make friendship with them. This is true with with kids, with everybody. This is there. Once they grow up, you cannot treat them the same way, because relationship has matured. You have to treat them differently. Does it answer, Mataji?
Yeah, like being friend also sometimes it's very difficult to deal particular situations, but trying to make sometimes like
One thing, His Holiness Sadhana Swami Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, he mentions relationship changes with time. It's true here. It's true in all the relationship. They changes with time, and maturity is to understand the relationship is not the same. I mean, what access I had few years back, now relationship has changed. I don't have that access now. So changes, and accepting the change, then we can be peaceful. Then we just accept this is the relationship now, and let me accept the relationship in this way. Now they are no more kind of um, under my complete care as such. Now there is a friend. Now he's no more like, my son or my daughter is no more my disciple, kind of. Now he is more like a friend. A disciple means a disciple is meant to be trained beginning. And now the relationship is mature. So now I cannot treat him like my disciple. Now I'll treat him like a friend. So one must be willing to accept that change in relationship. Then one will be happy.
thank you, Prabhuji. And another question was like, as a devotee, when we try, if we don't discriminate, like whoever is non-devotee, then we won't be able to maintain some distance in at some point, right? So in that case, it's not identifying the uh, fault, but it's still in some way it's we are trying to see which is uh, maybe not as per scripture or not as per the
Yeah,
devotional thoughts, but it's still finding something which is we feel that it's not correct. Such
yeah. Okay.
such
Okay.
devotion.
Thank you. So Prabhupada says To call a thief is not wrong. There is nothing wrong. If you see a thief, we cannot say, no, no, he never steals. That is like being blind. So to call a thief is not wrong, Prabhupada says. So when it comes to somebody gives me trouble and I say he is the cause of my trouble, then we are not seeing a remote cause, which is Krishna's sanction and which is my own doings coming back to me. That is one thing. Otherwise, a pure devotee sees things as they are. A person in mode of goodness, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, is illumined by knowledge. He sees subtle things. Yeah, he's drinking and this is the reaction coming to him. So that vision we should have, that discrimination we should have. That's not fault finding. Fault finding is more like um, it comes on a personal ego level. That is there.
I got it, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
And just another example is when a doctor is curing a disease. Chandamani Maharaj gives this example. Then he says there is a disease here. I'm working on it, but the doctor is not like is just he's a doctor and he's doing operation. Likewise, to see some disease somewhere, and then if you are helping that person and working on it, or if that person needs to be avoided for some reason, just give prasad. So to see a disease, there is nothing wrong in it. But when it becomes personal, then there is a problem. All right.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you, Prabhu.
Alka,
Hare Krishna.
thank you. Hare Krishna. Alka Mata, you have a question.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams.
Harshini Mataji's questions actually reminded me of questions that I had. So one question is, there was a story about a snake that was told to not show anger and then he gets beaten up.
Narad Muni. Narad Muni says this story
Right, yeah.
to the snake.
So my question is, so if we are showing anger, which is, which we are not feeling it, we are just showing it, we are just pretending, just for our own safety or whatever the reason might be. Is that one thing is that not manipulation? And the other thing is, are we not trying to get a certain outcome, not just surrendering into the situation or whatever you might call it. So aren't these two things going on at the same time?
Well, I feel this is more like protection. It is said in Bhagavatam, if for one's protection one can kill also, it is said. Um, like if thief comes in your home and he is trying to kill you, suppose, or steal, and if you hurt him, and then there is no karma for you there. For one's protection, one can kill. This is dharma. So to show off, one must try one's best to protect oneself. It's not
So I
other.
have a question here. So when a thief comes and you are trying to protect yourself, you fight with the thief. So that's something that you're not so we are still trying to protect ourselves, so we are not just surrendering, but we are also not manipulating. Whatever we have inside, that is what we are trying to do. It's not that we are trying to manipulate somebody else's behavior.
See,
I don't know
these,
if I'm
yeah,
able to.
here in this way, it seems confusing because dharma is confusing. To understand dharma is confusing because dharma is also accepted based on one's swabhav. There is an example of um, Maharaj Ambarish when Durvasa Muni became angry with him and he created a fiery demon to kill Maharaj Ambarish. Maharaj Ambarish did not try to protect himself. Maharaj Ambarish had the Sudarshan Chakra given by the Lord, but he did not invoke it. That the Sudarshan Chakra himself came out and killed the fiery demon. But he just thought everything happens by the will of the Lord, and he surrendered. Um, now why I'm saying this is, if one is a Kshatriya, by nature he will pick a fight. A Kshatriya is supposed to fight. A Brahmana by nature will surrender. So there is different dharma for different people. And that's why it seems contradictory, but there is no contradiction.
So in Kali Yuga, our dharma is like we don't have that casteism anymore, or not to use that
No,
word,
it's
but
there.
we don't have the distinction. Like I don't know if I'm a Kshatriya or Brahmana.
Even
So
it is
what
not
will
by
be
birth.
my dharma? Yeah.
I understood it is not by birth, but it is by your nature.
Hmm.
If somebody has a Kshatriya nature, somebody will have Brahmana nature, and they
Hmm.
both are attacked, they both will behave differently. They
Hmm.
both are attacked. You
Okay.
will naturally act according to your nature. Now, this casteism is not by caste or by birth, but by quality. The whole society is divided. Some people are leaders, some people are cow protector and businessmen, some people are service class, and some people are like Brahmana class who are more interested in Shastra and knowledge and forgiving. A Kshatriya will not forgive. A Kshatriya will do tit for tat. A Brahmana will forgive. So everyone's dharma is different.
Yeah. Okay. So both are right.
Both are right.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Arjuna wanted to take the dharma of a Brahmana. So Krishna says, knowing your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should fight. There is no better religious principle for you. But for somebody else like a Brahmana, he should retaliate, and there is no better religious principle for them. They both will please Krishna accordingly.
Hmm. So Arjuna was Kshatriya because he was born a Kshatriya, or was he by nature Kshatriya? The reason I'm asking is because it seems like he was behaving like Brahmana, but for sure we know that he was born Kshatriya.
Well, he was trying to behave like Brahmana because of his weakness of his heart. He was trying
Hmm.
to find a way to run away. And he is quoting Vedic Shastra that will help him run away. That's a misuse of Shastra. And Krishna says, you are speaking like a learned man. He says that. Means your words, anybody who hears your words seems like you're a Brahmana. You're speaking like a learned man, but give up such petty weakness of your heart. So Krishna
Hmm.
nailed it for him. Don't try to fool me, Arjuna. And then Krishna guided him. He was in Dwapar Yuga and before, by birth and by nature same. Kali Yuga, everything is topsy-turvy. So Kali Yuga by birth doesn't make any like doesn't count by nature.
Hmm. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. One more question
Mm.
that I was reminded of. Uh, so if we have Krishna in our heart and we are trying to follow, should we avoid people who are not following Krishna, or who are not pious? Sorry, wrong word. Uh, but I guess you probably got my question.
Yes.
I mean, should we try to even avoid somebody, or should we just be open, but at the same time have know that this is not our path to follow, but we can still be open to them, right, when we meet them.
Yeah, thank you. Now it depends upon who those other people are. Now, general, like one devotee asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is a Vaishnava. Mahaprabhu said, Asat Sanga Tyagahi Vaishnava Vacha. One who gives up the association of non-devotees is a Vaishnava. So there is clear injunction to not associate with non-devotees and associate more and more with devotees. But then when we are talking about if somebody is not a devotee in our family, not a devotee at our work, so we don't try to inspire them. We don't try to speak about our internals. We keep it external and we remain fixed in our own faith internally, on our own dharma, on our own devotion to Lord Krishna internally. Because if we speak to them who are not willing to listen, it is said it is like feeding milk to a snake. Somebody who is envious, you tell Krishna is God, he'll become angry at you. So if you feed milk to a snake, the snake becomes more poisonous. So you are trying to benefit the snake by feeding him milk. Milk is like nourishing, and the snake will increase, will poison, and he will kill us also. So there is no point in feeding milk to a snake. Likewise, we don't reveal or try to instruct, but we can give them prasad. We deal with non-devotees very carefully. We give them Krishna in a way that they can accept. So we give this much leverage and we say they're not willing for this much, then we reduce. Just prasad is okay. But if a little bit more open, then we can give them a little more. And that's not taking association, that's giving association. Taking association, like it's not that we don't deal with people who are not devotees, but we deal with them carefully, protecting our inner treasure. Did I answer, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, yeah, that answers. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
I think we can end here. Okay. Thank you very much for all those who joined. Vanchakalpatarubhesha kripasindhubhaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If I spoke anything wrong, inappropriate, please forgive me as a humble servant. Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji,
Thank you,
very much,
Prabhuji. Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.